Hello, my name is Lauren Caruso, and I'm the Education Committee Chairperson on the Board of Directors for the Washington Wildlife Rehabilitation Association. And in this brief presentation, I will be discussing the field of wildlife rehabilitation. First, an overview of what wildlife rehabilitation is. It involves rescuing and treating injured, orphaned, and ill wild animals with the goal of releasing them back to the wild in a way that they will not only survive, but thrive. Wildlife rehabilitation is performed by permitted, trained professionals. It is not a hobby, nor is it experimental, and it is illegal to perform without the proper licensing and permits. Rehabilitation facilities have access to medical diagnostics and appropriate diets that are needed in order to take care of the animals we treat. Also, the staff are trained and have the experience to administer medications and proper feeding methods. So for example, the baby cottontails that are shown in the upper right-hand photo must be tube fed, which is an advanced skill that requires special training. The primary goal of wildlife rehabilitation is to educate communities on wildlife behaviors, on how to coexist with wildlife, and on how to help wild animals in need. And ultimately, what it boils down to, as you'll see here in a minute, is to call a wildlife rehabilitator for help. So what do we, the WWRA, have in common with Shadow and other organizations that are similar? First and foremost, we have a desire to protect nature and protect the natural habitats. We also must have an understanding of the animals' natural histories and how maintaining open spaces is necessary for their successful release back into the wild. There are, of course, many different types of wildlife in various habitats, and each species has its own purpose. So for example, owls are natural pest control. They hunt mice and rats and other pests that can carry diseases and are seen as a nuisance. In the same way that humans are attracted to fast food or food that is easily available to them, wildlife are as well. So this could include food sources from bird feeders, dog or cat food that's been left out, or garbage that has been improperly secured. It's always good to be aware of certain wildlife attractants. And of course, if you are ever uncertain, you can always reach out to a wildlife rehabilitator for help and guidance. Being stewards of nature indirectly supports the work that is done by wildlife rehabilitators. As we all know, many wild animals are negatively affected by urban sprawl. And it's important for us to rehabilitate these animals and then get them back out into their natural habitats where they will thrive. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you have found a wild animal that's in need and want to know what to do, first and foremost, don't worry, just follow these steps. The first step is, if possible, take a picture of the animal from a distance. Wildlife rehabilitators will usually be able to identify the species of the animal, and they might also be able to tell what's wrong with it. The second step is to call your local wildlife rehabilitation center immediately and ask for guidance. Please be sure to leave a message if they do not answer, as the rehabilitators are often very busy caring for their patients. Then, if it is safe to do so and the animal is in immediate danger, wear gloves and place the animal in a dark, warm, and quiet box with no food or water. And this goes for any wild animal of any age until after you talk to a wildlife rehabilitator. You can also visit the links below to learn more about wildlife rehabilitation in Washington State and to find a permitted wildlife rehabilitator near you. In the end, why is it all worth it? Of course, it's the release back to nature. Ultimately, we want to see these wild animals return to their natural habitats, just like this barred owl that you see here in this photo that's been returned to the forest following his time in wildlife rehabilitation. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please email the Education Committee or visit our website, www.rawildlife.org.